Hi everyone. Today we are going to continue with the next topic of financial management, that is dividend decision. So first we talked about financial management, then financial decision. In financial decision we talked about investment decision, financing decision. Today we are talking about dividend decision. In your accountancy you must have heard of the word appropriation of profits. What exactly do we mean by appropriation of profit? The profit which we have earned, whether we would like to reinvest into the business or we would like to declare it as a dividend, and how much is the proportion that we have to do this is what we decide when we discuss about dividend decision. So dividend decision is nothing else but appropriation of profit, or deciding that how much of profit earned is to be reinvested into the business and how much is to be declared as dividend to the shareholders. Because it's always good to declare dividend to the shareholders, they feel happy about it. In case if you don't declare dividend for a year or 2 years, they wait, but then they are not happy and the market value of the shares also go down, and the other investors are not interested in investing in your company. So it's always good to declare some kind of dividend. Now, what is it that actually makes a company declare dividend? So one thing is there that when we talk about the profit which we have earned, when we reinvest it into the business, it is known as retained earnings. Now that retained earnings, what we do with that retained earning is that we try to keep it for future use. If we do not keep retained earnings, we would ultimately be borrowing from outside somewhere. That would involve some kind of cost. So retained earnings is our own money, permanent source of finance, no kharcha involved, no expenses involved, and it actually increases your future earning capacity. Why? Because whenever you reinvest without any borrowing or without any kharcha, you have put in your own money to increase the value of your business or expansion of your business or for reinvestment purpose or whatever it is. Why we talk about dividend decision? We talk about dividend decision because the investors always, like I told you, feel happy when they get some kind of return on the investment they have made. So talking about dividend decision, we need to know two things very clearly. One, retained earning. Second, why declaring dividend, and what exactly dividend decision means, and why retained earning is a better source of finance, and what exactly happens with dividend once it is declared. So what are the factors which affect declaration of dividend? That is what we are going to do in this topic. So starting with factors affecting dividend decision. This decision involves how much of profit earned by a company after paying tax, so of course, is to be distributed to shareholders, and how much of it should be retained in the business. So here we have retained in the business and how much is to be distributed to the shareholders. Or appropriation of profits, like I've written out here. This is the third important decision. That decision should be taken keeping in view the overall objective of maximizing shareholders' wealth. I told you just now that whenever you reinvest into the business, your own money, your future earning capacity increases, and your future earning capacity increases. That means all the three decisions which you have taken are good: investment, financing and dividend decision. Along with that, your returns are more than the cost, since you are earning a kind of dividend for your shareholders. That means you were able to pay off the creditors as well as debenture holders and preference shareholders, and what is left over is given to the equity shareholders. So when leftover equity shareholders are receiving their leftover, that means the company is earning well. There would be somewhere or the other maximization of owners' wealth. The dividend decision constitutes the current income reinvestment. Current means the one which you have earned this year. That is retained earning, which increases firm's future earning capacity. Like I told you, future firm earning capacity. Why? Because without any kharcha, you are investing into the business. Retained earning is a portion of net earnings kept in the business for future use. Of course, yes, this is the definition. So I'll write here a definition for your information. And the extent of retained earning, how much retained earning are you keeping, also influences the financing decision. Financing decision means the proportion, the quantum of finance, your own fund and borrowed fund, that is affected by the retained earning. A new firm cannot use retained earning. The firm which is actually into business for a very long time and has been earning quite well can only use retained earning as a reinvestment in the business. as a reinvestment in the business. So it influences the financing decision, that is quantum of finance. Of course it does. So benefits of retained earning are what? It is a permanent source of finance. It does not involve any kind of explicit cost. It is flexible source and it helps the firm to increase future earning capacity. The same point out here, I've briefed it out in a proper manner. Next we start is with the factors affecting dividend decision. Now I've made a flow chart for you, like I made for the investment decision and financing decision. For dividend decision also I've made a flow chart for you. Starting with the factors affecting dividend decision, I have just a small easy way of learning this particular topic. Here DD is declare dividend and no DD is do not declare dividend. So no DD means do not declare dividend. This part you need to remember every time you're doing any kind of factor. Earning. If the profits are more, dividend declare. If the profits are less, do not declare dividend. Now, dividend are paid out of current and past earning after charging depreciation. Of course, yes, current earning after paying the taxes and then after charging depreciation for the past earning. So, when you talk of dividend are paid, of course, when dividend come to you, the company already has paid taxes out here. They've already done that. So, if profits are more, dividend declare. If profits are less, do not declare dividend. Next, stability of earnings. Very clear. If your earnings are stable, then only declare dividend. If they are not stable, do not declare dividend, because if the fluctuating returns are there and if you keep on declaring dividend and you do not reinvest, then you will ultimately have to borrow, which is not a very good idea. Borrowing can only be done to a certain level, certain capacity. One. Second, why borrow every time? So, it's better to use your own money. Next, so stability of earning, stable earning, unstable earning, division into two. Unstable is fluctuating profits. If it is stable, dividend declare. If it is not, do not declare dividend. Stability of dividend. What companies do is they fix a particular amount of dividend or percentage of dividend to be declared every year, and they declare the same. Even if the profits are not that much, they will declare the same. So, company cannot take a risk until unless it has a stable and clear proper profit every year. So, profit or earning every year. In case a company has stable earning per share every year, declare dividend. If it is unstable, do not declare dividend. Stability of dividend. Companies generally follow policy of stabilizing dividend. What do we mean by stabilizing dividend? That is per share. That is, company decides particular rate of dividend. Here you have rate of dividend. Declare the same dividend every year. Dividend per share is usually not reduced even if the earning is small. So, the company even have, if it has to borrow, even if the company has to borrow, it will declare the same kind of dividend. Now, stable earning per share, dividend declare. Unstable earning per share, please do not declare dividend. Do not risk your company in any ways. We'll continue with the same factors. So, to continue with the factors affecting dividend decision, I have made 2 points out here. Here DD is declare dividend and no DD is do not declare dividend. Starting with the growth opportunity. There are two types of companies, mature company and growth company. Mature companies do not have any new projects. So, when they do not have any new projects, it's better to declare dividend. But when the growth companies are there, they have new projects. So, what do? Is we retain profit and we do not declare dividend. Now, they have no new projects, therefore less need of retaining earnings, declare dividend. They have new projects, so there is need to retain earnings, do not declare dividend. Cash flow positions. When we talk about cash flows, we are talking about inflow and outflow. Inflow is receipt, outflow is payment. Now, sometimes company may be profitable, but they may not have enough cash, and sometimes they may be profitable and they may be having enough cash. So, if company has enough cash, declare dividend. But if they do not have enough cash, that means the money is blocked where? Money is blocked with debtors, stock, bill receivables. What you have to do is do not declare dividend and retain your profit. The dividend involves outflow of cash. A company may have profit but be short on cash. Company profitable having enough cash, declare dividend. Company profitable, short on cash, no DD. That means do not declare dividend. Please do not declare dividend if your company is profitable but are short on cash. Now, shareholders preference. There are two types of shareholders: small shareholders, wealthy shareholders. Small shareholders are like me, salaried people. We like the feel of a dividend. We would love to see how much dividend a company declares. But wealthy shareholders say no, we don't want to see any kind of any kind of dividend being declared. Why? Because they feel their tax liability will increase. Their personal tax liability will increase. Though when the dividend is declared, it is free of tax to the shareholders because company pays the tax beforehand. Now, there are small shareholders depend upon the regular income from investment. DD, we feel happy about it. Wealthy do not want to increase their tax liability, so no DD. Now, next we come to taxation policy. Now, if your taxes are less, declare dividend. If your taxes are more, do not declare dividend. It's as simple as that. If you're paying less by way of tax, that means your खर्चा is less comparatively. डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर दो ना, खुश कर दो शेयर होल्डर्स को. बट आपके खर्चे ऑलरेडी ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं तो डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं. देयर इज नो नीड टू डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड. Choice of payment of dividend and retained earning is affected by tax treatment of dividend 1 and capital gains. Dividends are free of tax in hands of shareholders. They get dividends free of tax. But then again, if the tax liability with the company is more or if the tax liability with the shareholders is more, you have to see both the things. You have to consider it. So if you're talking from company's point of view, if you have more of tax liability and it is like more, there is no need to declare dividend. Don't increase your kharcha. But in case your tax liability for the company is less, declare dividend. And from the point of view of individual, we've already talked that wealthy people don't want their dividend to be declared. So taxation policy, this is from the point of view of the company. Stock market reaction. Now, investors view increase in dividend as good news. They always feel happy about it. So, stock market is positive, everything is going good. People love to buy equity and the economy is just growing, reacting positively. When there is a recession in the market, when the equity shares are not doing well, then the stock market becomes negative because shareholders know that they are not getting any kind of dividends. So, if provisions are complied with, stock markets are positive, dividend is already declared, and here stock markets are negative. Why? Because provisions are not complied with and dividend is not declared. Access to capital market. There are two types of companies: large company, small company. Large company, easy to access the capital market. They can go access the capital market. They can just launch their shares out there. IPOs निकाल सकते हैं. They can start with the initial public offer and people buy their shares. They are already well-known companies. Small companies face a lot of difficulties, and sometimes banks do try to help them, and sometimes these investment bankers do try to help them, but it's not very easy to for a small company to access the capital market. So in that case, when you are a large company, declare dividend. When you are a small company, please do not take risk of declaring dividend. Now, factors affecting dividend decision, continuing with the same. Here DD is declare dividend, no DDs do not declare dividend. Legal constraint under the provision of Companies Act 1956 or 2013. Now, when we talk about, there are some restrictions. See, there are some restrictions. In case there are no restrictions on payout of dividend, declare dividend. But there are restrictions on payout of dividend, do not declare dividend. Usually, there are restrictions on payout of dividend. Dividend is declared from current year's profit. In case last year's profit is considered, you have to minus a depreciation. You can't use paid up capital for paying the or for declaring the dividend. So there are so many restrictions. If these restrictions are not there, if your company is restriction free, declare dividend. That doesn't usually happen. Why? Because Companies Act 2013 and 1956 apply. So legal constraint. Next comes contractual constraints. Now, see, you have a loan agreement with a bank or a financial institution, and they usually put up a restrictive clause. What is a restrictive clause? They usually put their one person on the board of directors, and that person tries to work out whether to declare the dividend or not to declare the dividend. He has a lot of say in the working of the company. Now, if there are restrictive clauses, you cannot declare dividend because he will not let you declare dividend. He'll say, पहले मेरा पैसा दो, उसके बाद declare करना dividend. लेकिन अगर आपके ऊपर कोई रिस्ट्रिक्टिव क्लॉजेस नहीं है, सो यू कैन ईजिली डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड. लोन अग्रीमेंट, नो रिस्ट्रिक्टिव क्लॉजेस on payout of dividend, then you declare dividend. Loan agreement, restrictive clauses on dividend, there is no need to declare dividend. I hope the factors affecting dividend decision are clear to you. I hope you enjoyed the flow chart. You can explain like this. It's easier to explain and learn through the help of flow chart. Next, we'll be starting with why exactly we did all these decisions, the financial decisions. We'll be discussing about them, and we'll be discussing about the primary objective of financial management. Till then, bye bye.